Ever notice this kind of weird thing? Like you see people who are so dedicated to something bigger than themselves, really driven by like a sense of purpose,
Yeah.
but they're like secretly battling this intense struggle with lust.
Right.
It's this crazy paradox.
Totally.
And it's like no one talks about it.
Yeah, it's like a hidden struggle.
Exactly. It's like hush hush.
Big time.
And if you're listening and you've ever felt that kind of internal tug of war,
Mm-hmm.
just know you're not alone in this.
Not at all. Not at all.
It's more common than you think.
Way more.
So to dive into this,
Yeah, let's do it.
we're looking at some interesting perspectives today. And I have to say, these are really thought-provoking.
For sure.
We've got 2 YouTube discussions we're going to pull from.
Okay.
The first one is from one Bible verse.
All right.
And the title is, get this, 5 reasons why chosen ones secretly struggle with lust.
Interesting.
And the second one is from Zillion Mind.
Okay.
And they call it 8 prices of lust that all chosen ones must pay.
Ooh, that's intriguing.
Right, like what's the cost of this struggle?
Exactly. We got to find out.
So that's what we're going to unpack today in this deep dive, all right?
Let's get into it.
We're going to figure out why people who are like destined for greatness, these chosen ones, end up in this battle with lust.
Yeah.
And then we're going to look at like, what are the consequences, the fallout?
Right, because it's got to have an impact.
Exactly. It's not just some like theoretical thing,
Absolutely.
So we're going to break it all down and hopefully bring some clarity to this whole thing.
I think people need that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so one Bible verse, right?
Mm-hmm.
They start with this idea of spiritual sensitivity.
Yeah, that's their first point.
And I thought this was really interesting, so tell me what you think about this.
Well, they basically say that if you are super spiritually aware,
Right?
like really connected,
Mm-hmm.
that same sensitivity, that same awareness, it can make you more aware of the bad stuff too.
Well, that's interesting.
Like all kinds of temptation, not just lust.
So it's like a double-edged sword.
Exactly.
The more connected you are,
Yeah.
the more you pick up on everything.
Everything. Yeah, both the good and the bad.
And that makes the battle with lust so much more intense
Absolutely.
because you're just like dialed in,
You're
right?
picking up on all the signals.
So it's like having this super sensitive radar
Yes.
that picks up even the faintest blips.
Exactly. You said it perfectly.
So being chosen in a way
Uh-huh.
makes you more vulnerable.
Yeah, it's almost like,
It's kind of ironic.
it is ironic. It's like this weird paradox
It is.
where your strength becomes,
Your weakness.
yeah, in a way.
It's like that spiritual giftedness. It makes you a target.
Right. Like you have a bullseye on your back.
And then lust becomes like this
Weapon.
that they use against you
Powerful weapon.
to try and like knock you off course.
It's strategic. You
Yeah.
know, they're not just going to let you waltz through.
Yeah.
If you have this potential, they're going to try and stop you.
Now that brings me to another point from the video.
Okay.
They talk about isolation
Yes.
as another factor.
Right.
And they say that people who are on this unique path,
Mm-hmm.
they often experience solitude.
It comes with the territory, right?
Yeah, and it's not always a bad thing
No, solitude it can be good for focus,
for growth.
for getting in touch with yourself.
But it can also create like this breeding ground for hidden struggle.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword again.
It is. It is. Because if you don't have that accountability,
Mm-hmm.
like those people you can confide in, those
Mhm.
trusted connections
Who get it.
who get it, that struggle with lust can become so much harder to overcome.
Oh, absolutely. It can fester in the darkness.
It festers, it grows. It's like
Perhaps a weed,
a weed that just keeps spreading
and you don't even realize it's happening.
because no one sees it.
Exactly. It's hidden.
And that secrecy makes it so insidious.
It does. It really does.
All right, so building on this whole target idea, their third point is that a high calling attracts greater opposition.
Right. So the bigger your mission, the
Hmm.
more resistance you're going to face.
It's like spiritual warfare on steroids.
Yeah, you're in the big leagues now.
And they say lust is like a key weapon in that arsenal.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And they brought up the example of King David
Oh, yeah.
and Samson.
Classic examples.
These are like monumental figures, right?
Huge, huge figures.
Called for extraordinary things.
Powerful, influential.
And yet,
They both fell.
to the pull of lust,
It's a cautionary tale for sure.
it shows you that no one is immune.
No one, no matter how strong you think you are.
It makes you wonder about the pressure they were under
Yeah, the weight of the world on their shoulders.
and how that might have even fueled those desires.
Maybe it's a way to escape.
Yeah, maybe it's a coping mechanism.
Could be.
So the takeaway there is,
Be vigilant. Be aware.
yeah, don't underestimate this.
No, it's a real threat.
It's serious stuff. And you know what I thought was interesting?
What's that?
They talked about how temptation isn't random.
Okay.
It's targeted. It's strategic.
Like they're setting traps
Traps for the chosen ones,
to lure them off their path,
to distract them.
to weaken them.
And that brings us to their fourth reason,
All right.
which is emotional wounds.
Now this is deep.
Right. They say that past hurts, like rejection, abandonment,
Trauma, all that.
can create these vulnerability.
Like cracks in your armor.
Yes. And those cracks
They become entry points.
for the enemy to exploit.
They know exactly where to hit you.
And lust can be so tempting when you're hurting,
Oh, yeah. It offers this false sense of comfort.
like a quick fix.
A Band-Aid on a bullet wound.
It's like you're trying to soothe that pain.
But it's not real healing.
No, it's just a
It
temporary distraction,
Dangerous one.
and it can lead to even more
No,
problems.
it's absolutely, it's a vicious cycle.
Okay, so their fifth reason.
What's that?
This one really resonated with me.
Tell me about it.
It's this idea that even though you might have strong spiritual gifts, you're still human.
Right. You don't transcend human nature.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
still have weaknesses
We all have flaws.
and desires.
It's part of the human experience.
So they emphasize the importance of spiritual discipline.
Ah, yes, the daily grind.
It's a daily grind, like prayer,
Renewing your mind.
anabiling.
It's like training your spiritual muscles.
Yes. It's like a workout
You got to stay in shape.
to stay strong.
And there's this temptation.
Exactly. So those are the 5 reasons from one Bible verse.
Repelling stuff.
Now, Zillion Mind,
Okay, let's hear it.
they take a different approach.
How so?
They focus on the consequences of lust.
The price you pay.
Exactly. They call it 8 prices of lust that all chosen ones must pay.
Intriguing.
So their first price is the loss of spiritual power.
Ooh, that's a big one.
It is, and they bring in some ancient wisdom here.
I love that stuff.
Me too. It's fascinating.
So what do they say?
They say that when you indulge in lustful thoughts and actions, it drains your divine essence.
Like your life force energy.
your core energy,
Yeah, that's powerful.
And they connect this to ancient practices like Taoism and Hinduism,
Oh, yeah, they were all about that.
where they understood the importance of sexual energy
For spiritual growth.
and higher consciousness.
They sought it as a sacred force
It's like this reservoir of energy
that you can use for creation.
and connection to the divine.
But if you waste it on lust,
It's like you're depleting your reserves.
and they ask if you've ever felt that emptiness after giving in to lust,
Yeah, that drained feeling.
like you've been sucked dry,
They say that's a sign.
of your energy being siphoned away.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
They even bring up Nikola Tesla.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was known for his celibacy.
He believed it enhanced his mental clarity.
Exactly. And ancient monks and warriors
They practiced self-discipline too.
to achieve spiritual enlightenment and power.
It's a common thread throughout history.
It is. So the message here is
If you want to be a chosen one,
you got to conserve that energy.
don't waste it on fleeting pleasures.
Okay, the second price they talk about,
Hit me.
clouded judgment and weak decision-making.
Oh, that's a classic.
Right. They say lust can fog your mind.
Literally like a mental fog.
You can't think straight.
You make impulsive decisions.
You're driven by desire.
Not logic.
And they bring up Samson again.
Poor Samson.
He was so strong.
But his weakness was lust.
And it led to his downfall.
He couldn't see clearly.
They say temptation is strategically placed
Like landmines in your path.
to trip you up, to make you stumble.
Sabotage your mission.
It's like the enemy knows.
That a clouded mind is a weak mind.
And they're going to exploit that.
Absolutely.
So be aware, be vigilant.
Don't let lust control your thoughts.
Okay, the third price they mention,
What's that?
emotional turmoil and bondage.
Now that's a heavy one.
It is. They talk about these unhealthy soul ties
Oh yeah, the energetic connections.
that can form through lustful encounters.
Or even just thoughts.
And they can drain you.
Like emotional vampires.
They're not life-giving.
They're toxic
They keep you tethered to the past.
to people and experiences that don't serve you.
And they can prevent you from moving forward.
It's like carrying around dead weight.
It is. And they talk about how lust can be mistaken for love.
Yeah, it can be deceiving.
It tricks you into thinking you need something.
That's actually harmful.
They even bring up Eros from Greek mythology
The god of love and desire.
and how it can be both a blessing and a curse.
It all depends on how you use it.
True love nourishes and builds up.
It's life-giving. It's expansive.
Lust, on the other hand,
It leaves you feeling empty,
used.
disconnected.
So the message here is,
Be careful what you attach yourself to,
yeah, choose your connections wisely.
because not all connections are created equal.
All right, the fourth price,
Lay it on me.
distraction from purpose.
This one's a no-brainer.
It is, right? It's so obvious.
Yet it's easy to forget.
It is, they say lust can divert your energy,
Your focus.
your time,
Your resources.
and every moment you spend chasing those desires
The moment loss.
from fulfilling your true purpose.
It's like wasted potential.
And they bring up some impressive figures.
Like who?
Buddha, Jesus, Marcus Aurelius.
Wow, that's a diverse group.
They all understood the power of self-mastery.
Yeah, they were masters of their own minds.
They knew that distractions
Are the enemy of progress.
So the lesson here is,
Stay focused. Stay disciplined.
don't let those desires sidetrack you.
Keep your eyes on the prize.
All right, the fifth price is a big one.
I'm listening.
Loss of divine protection.
Whoa, that's intense.
It is, and they say that when you give in to lust
You create a misalignment
with your higher self,
with your spiritual principles.
and that can open you up to negative stuff.
Like bad luck.
Negative energy,
It's
like your spiritual armor weakens.
you're more vulnerable.
And they even reference the Bhagavad Gita,
Oh, interesting.
where Krishna talks about the disciplined warrior,
The one who's in control.
the one who's aligned with the divine.
The one who's protected.
So they're saying that self-discipline,
Is the key to restoring that protection
it's about taking back control
of your desires.
and aligning yourself with those positive forces.
Powerful stuff.
It is. It is.
So how do you do that?
That's the million-dollar question.
Exactly.
But I think it starts with awareness,
Being mindful.
paying attention,
Knowing your triggers.
and having a plan.
A strategy for dealing with temptation.
Okay. Their sixth price,
Okay, what's next?
guilt and spiritual regret.
Ah, the heavy hitters.
They say that chosen ones
The ones with a conscience.
can feel intense guilt after indulging in lust.
It's that disconnect between their actions and their values.
And that guilt can be paralyzing,
It can keep you stuck in the past.
prevent you from moving forward.
It's a trap.
It is, but they offer a message of hope.
I like that.
They say that past mistakes don't define you.
You can learn from them.
You can grow from them.
You can forgive yourself.
And you can recommit to self-discipline.
It's a new beginning.
Exactly. So don't let guilt hold you back.
It's a waste of energy.
Okay, the seventh price,
We're almost there.
weakening of manifestation powers.
Now that's an interesting one.
It is, right. They're talking about the law of attraction here.
The idea that your thoughts create your reality.
Exactly. And they say that when lust dominates your mind,
It takes up space.
it consumes your energy.
And it weakens your ability to manifest good things.
It's like a virus.
that infects your mental operating system.
It blocks your creativity,
Clarity.
your intuition.
And it prevents you from reaching your full potential.
And they link this back to the monks and sages,
The masters of manifestation
who understood that self-restraint.
was the key to shaping your reality.
So there's another argument for self-discipline,
It's about mastering your desires.
so that you can master your destiny.
I like that.
Me too, it's empowering.
All right, last one.
The eighth price.
Bring it on.
This one's a bit scary.
Okay, I'm ready.
They say that unchecked lust can open the door
To what?
to negative influences,
Oh, no.
like lower vibrational entities.
That's creepy.
It is, right? And they say that feeling of regret,
After giving in to lust,
that's a sign
if you weren't in control.
that something else was influencing you.
That's scary.
It is, and they talk about how this has been the downfall of
Empires.
throughout history.
So it's a real danger.
It is, and the message here is
Take back your power.
master your desires,
Don't let them master you.
because that's how you stay protected.
That's how you stay free.
So there you have it.
8 prices of lust.
It's a lot to think about.
It is. It's heavy stuff.
So let's recap.
Okay, break it down.
We've got 2 sources here,
1 Bible verse and zillion mind.
and they've given us a lot of insights into this struggle with lust
Yeah, why chosen ones struggle,
and what the consequences are.
the price they pay.
So first, the reasons.
Right. Let's start there.
1 Bible verse said that chosen ones struggle because of their spiritual
To be
sensitivities.
more aware of temptation,
They can be isolated,
which makes it harder to resist
they're targeted,
because they have a higher calling
they might have emotional wounds,
that make them vulnerable
and they're still human.
with human weaknesses.
So that's the setup.
The why,
Now, Zillion Mind talked about the what.
the consequences.
They said lust can lead to a loss of spiritual power,
Draining your energy,
clouded judgment,
making bad decisions,
emotional turmoil,
toxic connections,
distraction from purpose,
wasting time and energy,
loss of divine protection,
weakening your defenses,
guilt and regret,
Getting stuck in the past.
weakening of manifestation powers,
Blocking your creativity and potential.
and even the risk of being used by darkness.
That's a scary one.
It is. It's a lot to take in.
It is, but it's important.
So now the question
What's
is,
you going to do about it?
what are you going to do with this information?
Yeah, you've heard the reason.
You've heard the consequences.
Now it's time to choose.
Are you going to let lust control you?
Or are you going to take back your power?
That's the challenge.
The call to action.
So think about it.
What internal battles are you facing?
What are you struggling with?
And how can you protect yourself?
How can you strengthen your defenses?
Because this is about more than just lust.
It's about self-mastery
It's about becoming the best version of yourself.
and fulfilling your true potential.
And that's a journey worth taking.
Absolutely. It's a journey worth fighting for.
So don't give up.
Keep pushing forward.
And remember,
Your strength comes from within.
and it's always there waiting to be unleashed.
So go out there and claim it.
The world needs you,
At your best.
shining bright.
So let's do this
Let's rise together.
and become the chosen ones we were meant to be.
Amen to that.